Oh, a very, very fine day to each and every one of you tuning on in today. We are going to go where my Reaver hasn't gone today so far. We're going to refine that guy a bit. So, I really don't remember too much of what I have done so far with that build. So, allow me to find myself back by grinding out some low tier stuff and watching this team get into motion. It's been a couple of days. We had a pretty harsh heat wave over us, and whenever it's too warm, I'm just not able to enjoy turn-based strategy games anymore. It's like then it feels like work and not like a game anymore, and I'll prefer something else then. But temperatures have dropped a bit, so here I am. Alright, so we do have a bit of a charge issue. Can't already tell that. And I want to see if I can't get some more reliable Alpha Strike on that team. There has to be a way. I'm not happy with that so far. There's too much wriggling and jiggling going around with nothing happening there. There have to be, there gotta be some reliable choices there. Aikichi, hey there. Welcome, happy to see you. So, Tenebrous, that's Bastion of the Void, dang. Thought it's the Umbra thing. Mutagen. Sounds like nature? No, it's sorcery. Okay, whatever. Yeah, like I mentioned a minute ago, it's been just too warm. Today it's a chill 20-degree outside there, and all of a sudden I'm vibing for that game again. It's like there are temperatures that my brain is just not digesting in any turn-based strategy anymore. So, let's see. I mean, the ground frame seems to be solid. I remember pretty vividly that we were kicking butt quite hard. So, I dislike the point with the spell charges so far, and I dislike that I don't have a reliable amount of firepower to blaze away tier 0 instability squads in turn 1. But sometimes squads or specs are just not that fast. Yeah, well, I want to go over one topic after another, Akishi, because currency. You know, I've spent a lot of money into getting that Reaver going, and I need to grind up some penny again before I can get some new class going. That's the hidden pain behind what I'm doing here, and I'm never muttering about that. But the this whole try out a new class every stream thing is very, very, very draining on the currencies of this account, so I have to stick to my gun for a while to get my money back. These guys are damn resilient, but I remember they always were. And also, the other thing is, I'm not done with the Reaver yet, and I want to get it done because I feel like I want to leave something behind for everybody to check on out to see one iteration of that class that works well. It's up to everybody else to find some other way to break the game than I did, but I really feel like it's helpful when you guys have one way to pick up the thing, and I hope you guys will pick it up better than I did and rock the boat even harder. That's what I always hope for, because I know that while I'm streaming, it's simply not possible to have the same depth of thought like when I or everybody else is just sitting in his own room and thinking for himself silently. I strongly believe that talking distracts you from thinking. And, I talk a lot. Alrighty, but so far so good. The other thing that I just noticed is I should be forgiving with the Reavers. They are kicking into motion over the course of the time. This exhaustion wriggle dance is annoying me too. I wish I could shorten that, but I haven't found any option for that. If somebody knows, really let me know. Because exhaustion is extremely powerful. It is increasing the battle fatigue, a stat that increases the damage the enemy suffers, and my team isn't bothered by that at all, because we're immune against that. So it's really useful to have a spell that increases battle fatigue. But the Dancing Lister thing, I don't know. He's not that beautiful. Maybe I get a sexy skin for him one day. But I highly doubt that. Oh yeah, the Rune Knight. I'm dreading that. I gotta say, the Rune Knight is one spec where I was... Oh, okay. I'll feature that last. It looks damn complicated. That's all I can say. So far, it seems like you have to define the or refine the role of every single unit in your team a lot. Well, I'll check out how that'll work out. I do remember that I went over the perks of a class once. And I was like, yeah, later. Some other time. This looks too complicated for me. Okay, so we're slow but unstoppable. That's one thing that I really do notice here. Almost taking no damage. The most important people in my build always have the endless charges from the astrologist perk. I really feel like the Reaver benefits from good anointments a lot. Somehow I'd even go that far that he's benefiting from it way more than other classes. Like the Reaver's kit is feeling like it's left incomplete voluntarily because there's just so much oomph behind it. So the Reaver doesn't have too many perks that solve problems for him, like, for example, having a reliable turn 0 alpha strike, or some reliable survivability. There's a lot of blank spots in the Reaver build in favor of endless scalability and immunity to battle fatigue. That also means that you can virtually drag out combats endlessly and win them. So I'm wondering if the Reaver isn't one spec that benefits a lot from two different menageries. One offensive and one defensive one. The defensive one is what you pick up, what you whip out for stuff like Ascension, for example. Because I could imagine that during Ascension fights, this endless scaling aspect could be extremely powerful, but in that regard, you would need a way more defensive squad, which is basically only waiting to prolong the fight long enough to kick the enemy's face in. But with a lot of Ascension fights, this strategy works pretty well. I mean, I am still open to do some Ascension streams too, although I'm not sure if I really want that, because it feels very unrewarding over a longer period of time, and I sincerely hope that the devs hear my voice in that regard, that I personally feel that the God Key system sucks. Because you have to bring up so many attempts, and it feels just unnecessarily punishing to try out a new strategy and be like, damn, I wasted another key. It feels unnecessary because it's already a backbreaking piece of work to destroy all these guys with one specialization, and the game literally slaps 30 specializations into your face and says, here, come on, hey, I found a skin. Yeah, you can't do that with every spec. unlock something very special if you do so. I feel like those god keys, they only add in toxicity into that whole system. Not necessarily. It's a great system for late game progression, but I don't understand why it has to be gated behind those keys. Literally one project slot of mine is permanently blocked by this stuff, and it annoys me. But well, I take the burden. Doesn't matter too much, but I just don't see the benefit of that system. That's all I want to say. So, they dropped the skin, but they didn't drop the card. Sad. Okay, what I do notice is after so many fights, this team is totally busting those skulls. As it should be. Okay, so let's check out what we can improve on. We have hunted the Zombaton. The hunting quests are extremely important too. Angel Soul Slayer. Let's see. Wilder Chimera. Vodka. Willow Construct. Oh, the anointments. I think you have to go... Don't nail me down on it, but I think it was 430-ish. But I think it was past 400. Pretty brutal, I know. It really pays off to just go to a straight dive at some point and just grind out those levels as quick as possible, because you have to dive through deep. I think I'm going to do an episode about that for my tutorial series as well, because I feel like this is something a lot of people feel lost, because there's that content gap. Can't sugarcoat it. You're just hunting nether bosses and filling this guy's shop for the next 100 or 200 depth levels. And you're leveling your masters. But beyond that, not too much is happening, sorry. But I wanted to check out something else. So, let's see. First off, do I have fusion slots left? One fusion slot. Okay. Do I have artifact slots left? One, two. The Soul Sucker is one that we can easily replace. There has been a wonderful comment that helped me out so much, pointing out that Leech works just the same, because Leech obviously also leeches off of spells. I'm going to check that out, but if that's true, we're going to change up on that. So let's do this. Status effects. Let's check out Leech. There's not a single wording in there stating that the damage has to be attack damage, spell damage, whatever. It's flat damage they deal. So we're going to cut out this thing and bring in the Leeches, because it's simply the better choice at that point. If I remember correctly... Why can't I look them up? Whatever. We're also able to get the consecrated ground thing and get immune to blight. Hey there, Wind. Let's say I'm honestly working on a streaming schedule, but nothing hurts my creativity more than a schedule. And here we have a conflict of interests. I understand that you guys want to know when I'm streaming what. But whenever I put something on a strict schedule, I end up hating what I'm playing, or not looking forward to it anymore. And you get the idea. So I'm trying to. I'm trying to find a system that works for me. But let me be honest with you. I'm looking for that way to deal with it since a while now. So we could add in the blight immunity at the cost of useful traits. I do like all of these. Retention is really cool. Lucidity is really cool. Immunity against confusion is massive. I love that. And we also have Shining Force. This is the one that I feel like I could I could leave out most. Echo is also just like probably also a candidate to leave out. Yeah, we're going to leave out Echo. Why? Because I don't need offensive methods too much. It's cool that we're casting spells another time, yeah, but it's way cooler to be able to add in leeching without needing the blight immunity leech. There's 5 anointments. It would be OP if you could be all classes at once at some point. Pretty cool too, but you have to choose. So let's check out the leeches one more time. So, well, okay. The blight immunity does come with a candy, with an extra candy of 30% more damage. So it's something. It's really something. So. Now, we could add in the entire suite. First off, we want that Oculum Leech. Obviously, let's hope I have one Bloodlust trait thingy there. No. Here. So, mat name. Sorting by mat name is my favorite by now. Where? No, it was not. Crop name, that's what I wanted. Here. I find that extremely helpful because I find it, I don't know, I can memorize those traits this way easier. So I have that, so I use it. We have now global leeching. Wonderful. Let's check on out what we're going to add on into. Alright, very good. That's a great idea, Wind. Thank you. Yeah, I'm open for ideas. I know that I am a bit that organizing myself into a schedule was never my strongest side. I admit that every time of the day. I'll work on that. I'll see what I can do. I mean, it took me a couple of years to find out what kind of games you guys like to see on my channel and flesh it out. So it's not like it has been clear since a long time. So we could... I'll leave that one out because I have the Son of the Anointment side. Let's see. The barrier one sounds massive in my opinion, because this means that we're converting our damage dealing into defenses. Pretty appealing to me. The Toxic Leech though, I want that. I just want that. So let's check out if we can get the Imbibe thing. I love healing back when I get smacked. This makes every enemy that doesn't manage to one-shot you, this just makes them stronger. This just makes them just makes the enemy make your guy stronger. Now I have it. It's hard to talk with all the stuff I'm thinking about. So we gotta unsocket the Soul Sucker and socket in something new there. Master of Leeches. Let's check that out. That's a good idea to check it. I mean, not that I have so many leeches in there, but so leeching buff lasts forever and heals for 300% more. That's pretty big. But nothing I'm too interested in right now. But certainly something that I wanted to know. Alright, Imbibe. Wonderful. So now we have, what, one slot left and one fusion slot left. I gotta check out the, so, how important is the Master of Apocalypse? Massively important. This is just irreplaceable. We're not going to replace that somehow. So, this fusion, though, is totally unnecessary at that point. We are going to release that. So, this guy needs to be reformed. Pretty good. That means we have another fusion slot open. As soon as I know what I want to put in, I'm going to refuse that, because this actually does help us a lot. I would be happy though if we could keep the attack property on this guy though. Maybe I can find some nice effect on attack, because I'd hate to reforge this sword. There's just, it's level 50 with a nether slot, and it comes with a Master of Apocalypses thing. It would be pretty nasty to replace that. Okay. Whatever. Let's check out what we have here. So, there's no discussion about this first trait because they have to be apocalypses. I hope that I find one or two new types of apocalypse. Maybe there is something still out there, who knows? Nature's Blessing. Perma-mending and less damage. Bought. I'll keep that. Limitless. Yeah, well, why was that so interesting for me in the first place? I find that also pretty replaceable. It's good, but it doesn't work too heavily into my strategy. So, well, Hotspur. Well, creatures have a 50% chance to cast a spell. That's pretty good. That's a bad habit of mine with the nether slots, because I keep forgetting that nowadays you can swap them in and out as you would like to. I come from a version where they get destroyed if you socket them out, if you want to socket them out, and this led to me never using them, and because that was an unwanted behavior that obviously a lot of people did, it got changed. Thanks for the nudge. So, Black Lotus, absolutely mandatory. Imbibe, we got that. And here we have the open slot. Okay, 2 open slots even. There is a lot of potential going on here. So let's see what we can whip up there. I'm very eager to consider the Terravolps, just because it is one absolutely classic move, you know? Damaging spell gems, whoop, out there. It's powerful, it's classy, it's timeless, and it adds in more of that turn 0 burst that I want to have. Because the Terravolps does damaging spells, very important. So let's see if I have some Polida trait material. Here. Would be totally awesome if I had. Here. Polida. 4 times. That's the benefit of farming tier 5 instabilities. You basically always have what you want to. So, nether items, well, I do have a lot of these by now. And the other thing is also, I never know which team really deserves my shinies. So, let's see if I find some of these lower ones here. Burning on damage, attack, defense. Yeah, whatever. Let's just do that. Okay. So we got the Terravolps trade in there. Still leaves me open with 3 slots, if I'm not mistaken. I've said I could take that out, and this one has one open. Wow, we have 3 fuses open, so there's a lot of potential here still. Now then, I'm very intrigued to pick up something which increases the maximum HP of my creatures. The Kolos crossed my mind. This one. Or no. I think I am missing one of these. Yeah, there's probably I already have one of these to use. Let's see. I wouldn't be too surprised. I'm not. Are you kidding me? Okay, we have to farm that guy. Basically what I'm looking for is a creature that adds in maximum HP increase whenever I get healed, which is just awesome. So let's search a realm which features some Kolos for us. Easy. There we go, Frostbite Caverns. And also, Wind, I appreciate your input a lot. Really, I like your idea. I hope I'll be able to make something out of that. Sometimes good ideas are so simple, and I wonder why I can't come up with them myself. Just need to find good categories now. So let's see. I feel like my turn 0 burst has increased with the Terravolps. I feel like there's more raw damage streaming out of my guys now. Amalgam Gardens. The new gods, I don't know much about them. Hey, Miralinar. Hi there. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. So what I do wonder is, does the Terravolp's passive eat up spell charges? Because if so, I really need access to the arcane trade. And even if it's just for the very first turn, doesn't matter. It helps. So here we go. And I totally want the leech that transforms damage into shield. I think that's going to be extremely powerful. It does cost charges, you say. Everything else would be nonsense. So we'd be best preparing some arcane for these guys. Always a fun thing to do. So we're slapping on the barrier thing, and the arcane thing probably. Not sure about that yet. Lately, whenever I was using the Terravolps for my teams, I was always using it with spells that had endless charges due to certain circumstances. Yeah, there's one grimoire that features the trait that your team starts out with a stack of arcane. one of my favorites for making sure that the turn 0 burst is just happening. And doesn't drain my resources at the same time. Holy moly, this place is littered with loot. I really love how these realms look like when you're deep in the 20s of your god favor. So, Kolos Doombringer, that's the guy that I was talking about. Probably the third fuse that I should take. Then we have barrier on dealing damage, heal on taking damage, and max HP increase whenever we get healed. So this is a nice cycle, because I personally love to increase the max HP of my critters. This is, I feel like one of my favorite life insurances for long-term fights, to just have a mind-boggling amount of HP. This would leave no room for the arcane trait, but I'm not sure if we actually need that. The Terravolps definitely did help a lot. Probably I'll tap out the Hotspur and pick up the arcane trait for that. I know that without the Hotspur trait, I have one auto proc less of my spells, because Hotspur, you're not knowing what I'm talking about, Hotspur gives me another chance of casting my spells at the beginning of a fight. But I don't know, I'm so far not that much of a big fan, because it doesn't really bring the fight forward, because Hotspur doesn't specifically pick up a certain type of spell, like the Terravolps does. The Terravolps specifically picks the damaging spells. So yeah, let's break some fuses, or make some fuses, I should rather say. Okay then. So I'll need another Agor Apocalypse, because this guy is a wrong fuse. Poor thing. Azura, Banshee, Aspect, Arachnolisk, Apocalypse, yeah. Agor Apocalypse. And this one, well, let's see. Okay. Here, that's the way. That's the screen I was looking for. So here we are fully stacked. I could take out Hotspur. Should I? I think I'll do. Because I'm not convinced about the value of this trade. So, let's see. Do I have any Rise Above? I hope it's called like that. Rise Above. Here, that's the Kolos trait. After your creatures are healed, they gain 5% of that amount as maximum HP. Let's take that. Okay. And now let's do the fuses like we said. We're going to pick up the leech that provides barrier, because the more I thought about it, the more attractive this looks like, because this will also transform my turn 0 burst into shields, which is also pretty nice. So we got that one, the blood barrier, that's what I want. I don't have that yet, don't I? Let's check it out, not that I'm accidentally doing some crap here. Okay. So you're going to be fused with the young Agor Apocalypse that we just hatched. There's the creature. So, level it up. They are sorted by name. Okay. So now this is a death creature, which is a tad bit unfortunate, because that'll change up things again, but I knew this would happen. So here this guy has a lot of useful spells that we all have to replace. We also have to slap on generosity on a lot of spells. Look, we have a lot of work to do here. But first, let's do the fuses as we see fit. So this guy is going to receive which one? So we have the barrier trade, we have the heal on slap trade. I want an arcane, but is that really that important? I do ask myself that. Or isn't another one of these leeching traits more interesting? There was one of these that really struck my eye. Although, this would do two things. It would free up an anointment slot, and it would increase my damage by 30%. But at the same time, I don't feel like 30% is that much. So let's check out the grimoires. I'm not that convinced that the 30% more damage are worth an entire trait slot, you know. Did that get an upgrade? That's cool. The rest is not interesting at all, but the Runic Grimoire had an upgrade, if you ask me. Cannot remember that it worked like that. Okay, so let's upgrade that Runic Grimoire. Under these circumstances, I really gotta say it's a lot more appealing than ever before. Okay, so now though we do have the issue that all the spell gems are gone, and well, let's see. Greater Dispel, I love that spell. Spell Breath, why not? And Steel Storm would be really cool, but yeah, let's upgrade ourselves to Steel Storm. But I got to I want to have a generosity. It's really important now. I really want to have all these gems that I'm running in this team. I want them to have generosity here, because it does make such a big difference. There we go. So, Steel Storm. And this guy now, well, I don't know what I want to fuse with right now, honestly. And we still have here this guy open that wasn't too fitting. So I'm really right now not sure what kind of extra perk to bring into the squad. So we're going to sit back and see now how well it works now. Don't mind me, please, today grinding out these tier 0 realms, because I really feel like they are, for one, pretty chilling. For another thing, I need that God Favor. And for the third thing, they are good to check out if your build works out nicely or not. And I feel like farming cards and materials a little bit. So this was pretty meager, but I gotta say, the very first fight should never be what I'm taking my what I'd be judging on, because that's not the Reaver's power. The more fights we're getting ourselves through, the more powerful we get, the more base stats we gain. So I don't mind if the first few fights go slow. So far, so good. I feel like there's a huge speed up now. I don't know why exactly, because I don't feel like I did add in that much more damage-wise. So wait a sec. Ah, now I know what I forgot, didn't I? Yeah, I wanted the shield thingy. Now I know what I wanted. I wanted the shield thing. Or did I already fuse that in? Sorry guys, I'm a little bit confused today, so... But I think I didn't bring that in. I had Rise Above, I had Imbibe, yeah. Boyd, hi there! Happy to see you. Well, Aikichi, I love running tier 0 in steps for card farming, because I always feel like that's where the summons from the candle die fastest. And I noticed at some point, let's make it slow-mo for you, the loot. So here, check out those resources. This is 600 of each. And I noticed that when I was running instabilities, that higher tier instabilities, that my resource gain was not really higher. So I noticed that whenever I want to grind currency, low instaps are way to go, because you get way more resource per minute out of that. Whereas with the higher tier instabilities, you'll be grinding out way more high quality goods. For example, these trade materials for your artifacts. These, for example, you really find a lot more of these in your adventures in the instabilities. So it's always really a question of what you're looking for. But I gotta say, cutting out the Hotspur trait didn't do anything bad for the speed of the team. Quite the opposite is the case. It feels a lot smoother now. We take out the enemy in turn 1 pretty often, more often than before. You always gotta think this is the same difficulty on a moment before, so there's nothing new here. So, bam, take that, treasure golem. So, I love that that roast you get whenever you kill a treasure golem. You should definitely try and read all the texts when the gods tell you that it's unforgivable to kill that poor treasure golem. Wait a sec, I have to configure this guy's standard spell. He's doing crap. You, of course, are casting a Steel Storm. Do you think we're going to see a new Siralim soon? No. No, I don't think so. Or at least I don't hope so. I feel like the best thing would be to improve on this as much as possible. I don't know how easy it is to solve the issues that are in the game right now, but the only issues that I see with this game are two: not enough content and not enough managing tools for all the content. Yeah, but that's a joke, Akichi. That's a joke. Supposed to give you a bad feeling for all the loot that you're taking. I find that seriously funny, but I also noticed that not everybody is liking the humor of this guy that much. I liked it from the very first moment. Alrighty. This is going way better than the last one. Definitely. So let's slap in the barrier thing. Maybe tweak those spells a little bit too. I really feel like a lot of that game here, the menus, if the menus could be a little bit better, that would be something I'd be taking a new Siralim part for. Because there's really... My favorite example for that is the effort to carve a spell gem is just not okay. I feel like if all those features you could do with a spell gem would be all in one menu, that would be really cool. Like upgrading the level of the gem on the same page as you're putting in upgrade gems like that. It's really weird that you have to switch through the windows so much. I think it's due to the engine that the game has been made with, but it doesn't feel good, you know. A roguelike mod. Well, if you want the roguelike mod, the arena is basically the best basis for that. You could do there. Because you already have that draft thing going on there. It's not only me, right, Aikichi? The whole spell thingy is really... I don't like that. It's really annoying me. But what can I do? So, leeches. Let's do that. Because I feel like that's going to add in a lot of extra goodness into that team. So... I did summon that guy already. Oh yeah, I know what happened there. I forgot to take a new creature into my team. That's what happened there. So... You're going into the retirement home, my man, so... Near Blood Barrier. That's the guy. So at least he has attack as the dominant trait stat. Although I really must say I'm not that happy that we're going to do this like that. But whatever. So let's see. What do I have here? True Light. Fun. Soul Harvest. Nah. Blood of Darkness. Nah, that was a different dude. So... let's check out if we have some really cool spell gems for death that we can craft. Some AoE damage spells and the like. So, Damnation. Annihilate. If they are afflicted with a debuff. I don't know if I'm afflicting enemies with debuffs. Dark Whispers. Pretty cool here. I somehow vaguely remember that death magic wasn't too blasty. Let's see if I find anything nice there, but I somehow don't think so. Here's the summons. So, nope. We're going to have to craft something nice here on our own. So, this guy is going to receive... Let's see. Oh, we do run Volcano, so I can run that death spell. Alright, let's do this. There has been one. No, I just need to find it. That's the big problem now. Ah, here, Annihilate. That's one spell that I definitely like there. So, great, Annihilate, enchant, Annihilate, and that's what I'm talking about. It's really... Oh, we can increase the damage of those spells too. Let's do that. So... Damage increased. Let's see what we can do there beyond that. Chance to cast twice. Defense penetration. Yeah, let's take that. I mean, the generosity effects are only spreading over if you are not spreading over. Oh, I mean, but whatever. So here we go. So let's just pick up spells that I already got and mod them accordingly. Grove Tender. That's a known spec, isn't it? Lands. And I want to play it at some point, so don't you worry. So we should definitely upgrade that one. Grove Tender is also on my to-do list, don't you worry. So we will enchant now Elemental Wrath, Class Swap to Death, Generosity, and Damage Increase. Yeah, it sounds really fun. Agree with you. So, Elemental Wrath, and let's see. What spell slot do I want to? Oh no, we have to make it. This is, like I said, it's a nightmare somehow. So we could go for what? I don't know if I already have a Requiem in my team. Let's do this. Doesn't need to be higher than that. Oh, it does. It has to be 10. For the class swap and the generosity. So, generous and death. Because I really love to have a Requiem on my team. So, what do we have now here? Radiant Sunfire, Planets, Volcano, Acid Rain. We even have something open here, Greater Dispel. Yeah, there's lots of potential here still. Classes that give you unique creatures. That's a blank spot. Gotta admit, I haven't played these yet, you know. So, yeah. It sucks to admit that, but this sword is just the wrong item for him. He's supposed to be a caster. Everybody here is a caster. Dang it. Yeah, well, we're going to see what we can do in the course of the time. So let's get ourselves into trouble. And oh no, not with rebirth. Rebirth debuff buff. I mean, if I can't already see that my enemies have rebirth on them, I'm really pressing next because it's just that annoying. So that means we still have one trade slot here, because Limitless is just not something that I need to keep. And I think that's it. So we have one more trade slot open that I feel like is easily freed up. So now there's the big question of what we're going to fill that with. Yeah, the Pyromancer has one trait that negates rebirth when you... but the enemy has to burn for that. This only works if the enemy is burning. But that's one way. So let's use Annihilate. Wow, impressive, I guess. Let's go for a Greater Despoiler. So yeah, the enemy is not really suffering too much damage there. My most preferred spec. That's a difficult question. I really have a hard time answering that. Because it really depends, you know. So the enemy went and cast a Requiem there. It really depends on the purpose, you know. So why are these guys healing so hard? Ah. Less spell potency, 70%. Okay. That sucks. So for everyday farming purposes, I love the Pyromancer most. That's been my absolute favorite class there. Oh, these guys are annoying. And beyond that, well, I have to look into the list there, okay? Wow, this realm sucks. This realm is effing annoying. Gotta say. Sometimes when you're doing tier 5 instabs, you're encountering realms that are just not meant to be. So I think here an attack-based combo would just blaze through. I'm not down for that. We could win that, given enough time. So, let me check there. So... Inquisitor was a lot of fun. Really loved that one. Alongside with the Paladin. Like I said, Pyro. Really, really cool for my everyday farming issues. And, oh yeah, the Windrunner. The Windrunner is amazing. If I remember correctly, I had a pretty sick build with that one going on as well. That was surprisingly well off against everything out there. So let's see how that works out this time. So I feel like we're still taking a lot of damage here. The whole survivability thing is not coming together here good enough as of yet. I really don't know how I would be bringing that up. So these guys have more damage taken, we have less dealing, and we have less healing. We have stat swap, okay. It's a pretty rough realm as well. But if I understood things correctly, the first fight is always the hardest, so let's try and keep going. And let those REAVER perks take over. Alright. Second thing is already going way better. Battle fatigue is doing its thing for me. It's amazing. I love that. So... Revenge. I hope at least. So these hunter guys are always really, really strong. I think we're going to get blasted here. Okay. Not so good so far. Not so good. Don't know if I'm just getting unlucky here. Oh, there is a downside. You lose that extra loot modifier. You gain a 20% loot modifier whenever you finish a round without dying. So you downgrade your loot that you get. So there is some downside to it. So we're definitely not tanky enough here. That's clearly noticeable there. Although, let's see how this plays out in the longer period of time. I mean, technically, we're scaling. So, we're fighting against enemy apocalypses right now. And for some reason, we're getting endlessly blasted with spells, and I don't know why. Ah, the enemy gets to cast 7 more times. Oh, forget what I said. Alright, it ain't working so far. Really ain't working. I guess that's because we don't have enough damage reduction traits there. So... okay. So we need another Naxxor Harbinger. I know what I'm going to fuse on in. Hey, Nervous! Hi there! Long time no see. What's the name of the thing again? Good lord. So... Inox, alright. I don't own that one right now. Okay. So we'll have to farm that one up. No biggie. So the issue that I see right now mostly is that we're not resilient enough to withstand the enemy attacks. There is one Doomguard that has this trait which reduces the damage taken whenever you take damage. I'm going to take that. Oh no, the internet gods are against you. So, to everybody hanging out here who's, because we have a lot of regulars here, so I have good news regarding my my Twitch channel. My Twitch channel will have a revival soon. So, I'm going to stream in the chatting category, and I'm going to stream idle games. You'll see my favorite selection of idle games there. Hope you'll like it. because I felt like I didn't really know what to stream on Twitch anymore, and this way I'll just be there for a nice chat if you guys feel like it, and in the meantime I'll be doing what I'll be always doing anyways, you know. So maybe I'm casting too many spells. Maybe I should be just slapping them. Okay. But it's clearly visible that the damage taken is just too much, you know. We're hardly getting through that. So no, attacking isn't really changing anything. But I think the guy who's wearing the sword should be attacking instead of casting spells. I always do. By now, Aikichi. I'll be if you follow me on Twitter, and that's regarding to all of you outside there, all my streams get a announcement on Twitter by now, because I noticed that a lot of you folks like to use that, and it's very easily done. Doesn't require much effort from my side, and therefore I started to like that too. So feel free to drop a follow on that, and you'll stay posted. So, what I do notice is that we are just not dealing much damage with our spells in those in-step rounds. But on the other hand, I mean, quickly dealing damage is not exactly the trademark move of the Reaver's kit. So I shouldn't be too worried here. But unlike the other times, I survived this time. So you, my friend, you convinced me that you're an attacker, okay? Okay, let's see how that one plays out. At least I'm not dying that quickly anymore. Okay. Yeah, and you notice that the longer I survived in a realm, the more punch there is behind everything I do. Just starts out so damn weak. So leave nobody down. Yeah, but after winning a couple of fights, it looks totally different now. Okay. This looking better, isn't it? I mean, so far, it all repeats what I always felt like the Reaver for me was always one of the hardest to balance classes that I've played with so far. I mean, I could be utilizing the whole timeline manipulation scheme as well, which I'm not touching at all, because that's one perk of the Reaver as well. Because your creatures cannot fall down the timeline anymore, so... But I didn't feel like crunching my head regarding that topic. So... It's also potential hidden there. And also for everybody watching right now, the next thing that I want to feature was what's it called? Engineer? The class with the bombs. I think it was Engineer. That's the next one that I want to feature as soon as I get there. Just so you guys know already. There are so often spellcasts where there's just nothing happening at all. But that must be the enemy's defense being sky high. So probably it is actually a really good idea to focus a tad bit more on that Acid Rain spell. This one. Probably want to put that on Generosity and everything. Because I feel like that's one hell of a good spell in situations like these. Soften up these guys. Good lord, can they die? Can you just keel over, please? Wow. Well, let me think. Wasn't there one thing? I'll check out the list when I get out of this realm. Basically, the Demonologist is a new summoner class. That's one thing that that came up. Definitely worth mentioning. Okay. Gotta admit, so far I'm not that happy, but I've never been happy with the Reaver class to begin with. Savage Roar is a spell that I really don't need that much. Although it's quite fun to increase the punching power of my critters like that. Look, they hurt now. Actually hurt, they hurt more than they do when they cast spells. Should that concern me? So basically, what I do need is more Acid Rain in situations like these. And don't cast Annihilate if the enemy has no debuffs. It's also helping a lot. I feel like I could rely on that a lot more, though. Bring more Acid Rain in there and spam that out a lot. Have a couple of critters, so always spam that out. So the interesting question will be, how good will the Reaver be in regards of boss gods and the like, those fights that are made to last long, you know? That's going to be the real interesting question for me. Because so far, I see mostly a team that's doing the same as my other teams, just much, much, much slower, with the promise of scaling to infinity, but we don't need that so much. And I also realized that other classes can do the scaling scheme without needing time as an aspect. That's something I really dislike about all this. And I keep wondering if this exhaustion spell's broken or something. Because I keep spamming it out, and I never realized that it did anything. Either the feedback is broken or the spell's broken, I cannot tell. But I feel like I never had any result out of this spell. Don't know. Maybe I'm overlooking something, but I didn't feel as if I did. Anywho. I might be not as happy as I'm usually with my as I usually am with my other builds, but the Reaver that I have right now is way better than the Reaver that I had before I did this revisit. So in that regard, I already achieved a lot. Why is this guy so beefy? Seriously. 5.6 million damage. There we go. But it clearly works. After a couple of turns, the damage of my creatures is rocketing up like crazy. But that's the issue. After a couple of turns, I have, with all the other specs that I'm running, the effect that it happens right from the get-go, you know? And that's where I feel like the Reaver still disappoints. Don't know if you understand what I want to say with that, but okay. Let's do another thing. All those spells that my critters have now will be fully upgraded henceforth. It'll be a bit of a chore now, but let's see. Maybe not the Savage Raw. Don't know why I brought that spell in the first place. So, leveling them out. And using them now. So, enchant Acid Rain. Wait a sec, why is that not at the maximum tier? Alright, so this one goes generous, damage, and stat decrease plus. Nice. The Cyclone Strikes gain the generosity, damage increase, and defense pen. Well, yeah, these things, they rack up. So let's give those spells some extra smack, you know. So Radiant Sunfire. No thanks. We don't need to upgrade that. So here we go. Now we should have a crap ton of spells. The only thing I need now is this crazy trait that'll reduce my amount of damage taken in regard to the amount of ethereal spell gems my creatures run. That would be a massive thing there. I think it was Kage no Onisu who brought this idea up. Sadly forgot which trait that was. Okay, guys, so you whack me over. Wow. Creepy. The damage looked pretty good, though. And also, did I... Weird. I haven't seen any barrier on my creatures ever, but whatever. Okay, let's see how that'll work out. So now we can toss that acid rain over the enemy. Whenever I notice that I don't do enough damage, we can't just go for those ethereal versions of the spell and amp up the damage with that. Hell yeah, that was a big upgrade. So let's see. So I don't know how interested you guys would be in a Ascension stream format. I'd be really down to know. Also, feel free to leave that in the comments if you're not watching the stream live right now. This Ascension is one hell of a topic, and it's pretty tough to pull it off. But I feel like, well, probably you guys would like to see that. So there we go. Very, very interested, okay. So I'll have to put myself through some massive pain, I see. Ah, just kidding. I like pain. I mean, the real cool thing about that is you unlock some really powerful anointments with that. So here we don't deal enough damage again. Acid rain. Okay. And battle fatigue kicking in harder and harder. So, well, I think we're getting close to as good as it gets. The thing here is, I am extremely, extremely disappointed by the by the work of the Leeches so far. Maybe I am also misregarding that, but it feels like there's really not that much happening due to their leeching trait, but I guess that's wrong. I guess there's really a lot of goodness happening, and my critters would keel over even faster without that. But what I do realize is we seem to need more than that. I really want to pick in another Doomguard trait in this regard. Like I said, I think the one that increases the damage reduction by the amount of times you have taken damage should be massive. Because so far, they were pretty one-shot resistant, gotta admit. Holy crap. Just like this guy here. Also very one-shot resistant. But what I really can't lose is that feeling that the Reaver is just damn sluggish. No matter what I pull off so far, it just stays like slower and much, much slower than most of the builds that I'm regularly running. Although I really want to pick this guy and bring him into a false god fight and the like, because I feel like there might be the real hidden potential of this class where you're like having some really, really easy time with these guys. Although, so far, most of the false gods that I have been hunting for those guilds weren't too much of a big deal either. So we have Hydronox at 522, okay. We have a rendezvous with Hydronox. So, gotta say, the Reaver spec is for sure one of those where I constantly feel like I'm doing it wrong. And probably I still am. I'm usually easier at finding out what I like. Hello there, beautifuls. Wow, okay. The Mimic Parade. I think I just met the Master of Mimics. Is this the first time? Did I have that already? Or did I already forget that? I did already forget that. It's the 4th time. Been a while. The Key Forge is ready for turn in. Okay. Probably I'm also relying too much on spellcasts. That's another thing that I keep asking myself. Maybe this squad would be better off with more attackers. Or a balance of both. 3-3 or something like that. All in all, I keep my sentiment up. The Reaver is probably one of the most complicated specs to put up and get running well. Pretty much everything that I picked up before was a lot easier to get it running well. So let's pull up some Requiem and make it rain. We need to reduce their deaths. So, more Requiem. Ow. More Requiem. I don't know why the enemy takes damage right now, honestly. Let's ask the battle log. Stand as one. Oh, it's the spread of the Nephilim. Hey, Hyorin! Hi there. So happy to see you, man. Hope you're having a good one. So the damage spread of the Nephilim is killing them. That's what's happening there. But I gotta say, as soon as the battle fatigue thing kicks in, I almost immediately win. So basically, probably I'll kick out 1 or 2 traits in this whole formula for even more survivability. And then it's all going to be about surviving until we kick butt. Probably that's just what I should be focusing my whole game plan more around. Oh, hello there. A trait. Health's Protection. Wait a sec. Health's Protection. I see. So, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I'm feeling great too today. So, yeah, we're definitely going to slap that on one of our items. Why not? This is a pretty good thing there. Less damage for health missing. This will mitigate a lot of my issues there. Come on, let's just do that right away. Yeah, it's finally not as hot over here in Germany anymore, Joran, and I can finally play turn-based strategy games again. Because I mentioned that a while ago, that when it's too warm, I just cannot enjoy strategy games anymore, turn-based strategy games anymore. So, let's see, that might be Aikichi, but it's a free trait. The power of a 4th trait on your creature is insane. That's basically, those nether stones, in my humble opinion, their biggest thing is that they can bring these things, like extra traits. The best nether stones, in my opinion, are those with extra traits. Because it's the hidden way of acquiring a 4th trait on your creature. Technically, take that times 6. That's 6 more traits for your entire team, bringing you up to a total of possibly 24. But it's a pain in the rear to get those that you want there. And it's quite impossible to have as many as you want to. But at the same time, it is exactly what you want. Yeah, Huron, that's why I was like, wow, this is one of those nether stones. It might be that it has only one useful line, but that line it has is massive, or it could have only that one thing. Yeah, stat values, that's a good thing too. But you know me, Huron, I'm way less specialized than you, so I end up with not using my nether stones at all most of the time. But this one really made me change my mind. Hey there, good morning, Elvis. For me it's good afternoon, but I say good morning with pleasure. Hope you're having a good one. So, here we go. That trait alone will increase the survivability of my squad by a ton. Because we only need a couple of turns to get those other damage mitigation perks into motion. Because as you see here, what is Lister doing? Lister is amazing. He's the dude for a REAVER team. You see, I'm using a god avatar. Are you proud of me a little bit at least? So here, that's what they do for each New York City. Alright. Warden is a fun. I really had a lot of fun with Warden. So this trait on Lister is outright amazing. The Time Walk spell is also really powerful because it does take it does make the creature act once more as if it had taken another turn. It's pretty massive. I have these. I have the Time Walk spell on all of these guys' artifacts. So whenever they cast a spell, they have a chance to cast a spell, which lets them take virtually another turn, which makes them in return stronger because those apocalypses all have a scaling effect for each turn they have taken in the current fight. So you get the scheme. It's pretty cool, and putting it on the weapons was my personal IQ 200 moment, because I felt like this way I can make sure that those time walks get spammed without me breaking my noggin about doing good macros and whatnot. I'm a lazy guy. If I can make it lazy, I'm down. That's why I like Lister, and Lister likes me. So... that netherstone was a godsend. It was exactly what this one of the things that this team needed. Oh god. But we do require still a bit more resilience, as you see there. I still need that Doom Guard. Let's go to a realm where we can meet Doom Guards. But at least I nailed down the Master of Ifrits, so that's fine. Where was it? Kingdom of Heretics? Yes. I have no clue if I'm able to kill stuff here, because Nether realm thingies, realm instabilities, but whatever. I'm going to give it a try. I have that distinct feeling that this dude who's reducing the amount of damage taken in regards to the amount of times we have taken damage already will be exactly what it takes. Because I notice my team taking quite a lot of punches before they keel over. They rarely die just by one punch. And whenever that happens, this trait, which increases the damage reduction subsequently for every taken hit, does really good. It makes you immune against these little pesky stabs over the course of the time. And here you have the same scenario. The enemy is tossing tons of different small attacks on my team. And I don't know how many times everybody here already got hit, but I'm absolutely positive that it was often enough for that trade to already kick ass here. So this team I want to beat. There we go. Looking good, though. Yeah, I feel like the Acid Rain spell is really a good thing there. Oh, come on, you guys. Stay dead. Behave. So, really feel like I have to slot in some other spell for my good old buddy Lister, though. Because I still feel as if Exhaustion doesn't do anything. It's supposed to increase the battle fatigue, but I haven't seen it do anything, except for making my Lister dance. Yeah, Void, what did you miss? I am trying to make these guys more tanky, and we have found a nether gem that helped with that. Oh look, we have barriers. That means I got more resilient. Ryu, hi there. Thanks, I'm really appreciation of my tutorials. Glad that I was able to help you. Yeah, here we have the same scenario. I need that Doomguard on my team. I just do. Summon ready, Nephilim Shieldbearer. These are also really, really cool. Well, I felt like with a game like Siralim can really use some introduction, because when I was starting on out here, I was so lost. I felt so lost in an ocean of information. Alright, but what really shows by now is whenever we have won a few fights in a realm, we go down, it all goes down easier and easier, as it should be. I mean, REAVER perks. We get more and more performance for each fight we win, of course, but the hardest part right now is getting into it. Yeah, Void, I know that feeling. Sometimes I can't stand it myself. That's a good strategy, Ryu. This way you have a you can select what you want to play, and you get a team together that works with pretty much everything. That's how I started out myself too. I started out with Necromancer, but the team I had wasn't Necromancer at all. So, we totally deal a lot more damage there right now. Yeah, the Goblet of Trials. That's one other feature I wish that the devs would hear my voice and let us choose the class we want to play at the Goblet of Trials. I would be down for a very high essence cost in that regard, but re-rolling that thing again and again and again and again, it's really... I don't like that. So yeah, after a couple of wins in the realm, totally stompy. So that means I really just have to get that reliability into that team. My favorite monsters. So one of my absolute favorites is and stays the Unicorn Vivifier, the guy that resurrects people whenever he attacks. It's just, you know, such a good creature to do stuff with. I also love the Ent-Race, because they provide the mending and damage reduction they provide is just massive for pretty much every team. There's basically no squad that's not benefiting from that a lot. And the next glorious mention goes to the Terravolps, the one of the Wolves that gives your creatures autocast on damage spells at the beginning of a fight. It's basically a one-trade wonder. All you need to have is a squad with decent spell gems equipped, and you have a decent turn 0 burst for that. Well, Ryu, the fear to waste something, I totally get that, yeah. Yep, this game has a lot of different creatures. I'm not even using the entirety of the pool here. There's still the whole god creatures. There's one race assigned to each god, where you have to buy your summons with emblems. I'm not really using them much as of yet. But that's mostly because emblems were really hard to get when I started out with the game. It's been only a couple of patches ago that the emblem drop rate was massively increased, and, well, I kind of overlooked the project to buy all those creatures by now. I was like, yeah, let's collect some emblems first, but I think I might have already done so. Let's see, currency-wise, yeah. I'm pretty stacked, am I? Alrighty, but I gotta say, so far, the new Netherstone proves me in what I was thinking. I just need more defenses at this point. All I need now is just defense pumping, and that's all. Alright, let's see if we can kill another boss with that thing. If you can't kill another boss in a tier 5 instability, your build doesn't totally suck. Yeah, these occultists, they have such restrictive parameters. I haven't worked with that yet. So let's see, we have Midiera. I have to check out the traits of that boss. Yeah! Tell me when you're done. So... stop whacking my creature, it's already dead. So, what's the matter with you? After your creature's attack, this creature attacks the enemy 3 times as well. When your creatures cast a spell, this creature casts that spell 3 times as well. Okay. So, here we have 4 additional attacks. Yeah, right. So that's why things were taking that damn long. So, Greater Dispel, therefore, is not really worth my time. Let's make it rain instead, and reduce that defense a bit. Because we're going to be pelted with more stuff there. So let's slap more acid rain on them. And... oh, he's silenced. So we're going to whip out some attacks. And let's do the Requiem. I hope my dude doesn't get blasted away right away again. The other guy gets blasted away, though. Okay. I hope I'll get a Requiem out before I die. There we go. So, let's do another attack here. Why not? I really want to get rid of that Meteora thing. That eyeball is freaking me out. Alright, more Requiem coming in. So, and slowly the heat is turning up in terms of, no, I want to pick up the volcano. In terms of battle fatigue. Basically, it's a rodeo where our job is just to survive long enough until the battle fatigue takes out the enemy. Alright, so far so good. I really want that trade. It reduces the damage the more often I take damage. In this fight alone, I saw so many opportunities where it would have changed everything. So, am I allowed to act? Yeah. So, more acid rain. Strip those defenses down. Alright. I win. Nice. Wouldn't say it was easy, but it wasn't terribly hard either. I did it in the first attempt. That's one thing that surely does count. So let's see. Nexer Harbinger. Why don't I have another one of these? No, Inox Apocalypse. I need to check out. Ah, yeah, I died in that realm where I wanted to recruit new apocalypses, I remember. So, I think it was the Great Pandemonium, yeah. Because I need to meet one of these guys and take him down to make that happen, of course. Owies. Yeah, whatever. The reliability of this build still leaves something to wish for. Sadly. Hello, enemies? You out there? Alright, so far, all loot, no trouble. Ah, here we go. So, here are the apocalypses that I need. Let's just hope they don't blast me away like the last time. Looking good, though. Stay dead. Betrayal. Okay. No, I didn't mean to attack my own guy. Oh, come on, die already. He's taking stats from his allies. So, now we have the necessary summon. Great. So, oh, you know what? Let's go forfeiting. And, I really want that to be done. Well, the Ifrits are mostly pyromancer critters. I haven't seen them working well for most of the other classes. So, did I already summon that Doomguard? So, doesn't seem like I did. D like Doomguard. Here. Sentry Guard, that's the one. So, fuse Inox Apocalypse with Sentry Guard. And let's see. Level up. Sorted by name. Oh, God bless. This thing is still a chaos creature. Hooray! I don't need to do anything there. Although I gotta say that the spell gems on this critter were highly debatable too. So... fortification. And let's get rid of that bias. Dare carefulness. Let's do that. Yeah, Requiem, why not? Volcano. And... let's go for Promethean Blaze, why not? So, your standard spells. This one? Alright. Okay, then. Let's give it another try. Because I feel like that might have been a pretty big game changer here. Hey, I didn't do that on purpose. Random selection gave me yet another attempt at Volcanaz Realm. You weren't done here yet, weren't you? Okay. Let's see. Something's wrong here. So, no, creatures always have mending. Ah, I bet that this realm had only one possible buff on your creatures. That's why the mending was wrong. For a moment, I was afraid that I just traded the mending buff out of my team accidentally. No, it's been a realm thing, not the other way around. Okay. So let's see how the survivability goes on now, like that. But I think this should be a pretty good one there. Okay. Explosion. Why not? Why does this do so much damage? What the hell? Like, why? Sometimes that's one of the things that really bothers me about this game as well. There's such little readout about why things happen like they happen. Yes, you have that battle log, but it's a sorry excuse. It's like, here you have some superficial thing that gives you the illusion of having control over the situation, but don't expect too much of it. Ah, here now you see it kicking in. This guy is slowly taking less and less damage, and the imbibe effect is getting stronger and stronger. That's what I like there. Yeah, you are the shining example that you don't need to go too deep into the specs of each class. You can just search for one stat that really fits your scheme, build a team around that, and then there are certain specs that are just godlike with that, but all of them are somehow playable. That's what I learned from your strategy. So, I can work way more with brain off now. J-Rod, ooh. Any JRPGs that are mechanically as interesting as this one? Time Break Chronicles. You should check that out, man. Time Break Chronicles ain't finished yet, but it is totally a JRPG with a very, very high strategic appeal, and you can change scaling of spells with enchant. You can have 3 enchantments. Yeah, I used that. Ah, now I know what you're what you're referring to, Arima Folk. Yeah, you can basically configure every spell in a way that it does use another stat instead of intelligence. Time Break Chronicles is pretty cool. It's just not done yet. Big problem of nowadays. Yeah, in terms of depth and complexity, the old Final Fantasy parts were pretty cool too in that regard. You were able to do a lot of shenanigans with these two. Yeah, there's now way more stability in that build. And the wildest thing now is, the creatures of mine take less and less damage whenever they get hit. Whenever they get hit, they heal. Whenever they heal, their maximum amount of HP gets higher. And that makes them altogether more and more resilient the more punching they receive. And that's why I like that combo so much. Finally, yeah, that's been what I was waiting for. Exactly. So now we are in resilience mode. I knew that this Doomguard trait would do a lot of something for this team. Now you see there, we're just chilling. While we were being battered up in longer fights before, we're now just chilling. I'm using the Kolos trait, Rise Above. I have forgotten which Kolos it was. You know, the Kolos with K. There's one trait which gives you 5% of the total healing as an increase in max HP. That's my personal favorite. And since I'm using lots of mini heals, as you see there, it racks up quite nicely. Yes, Siralim has endless build possibilities, but the big downside of this game, to be quite frankly honest with you folks, there is, at some point you have tweaked your build so hard that the game doesn't even offer any challenges anymore. That's the downside of all the freedom. There's so much freedom in it that you're deliberately breaking the game at some point. Rise Above, yeah, that's a great trait. I end up using that for so many of my combos because it's so damn reliable. Because healing happens in one way or another in every one of my teams, and receiving a portion of that healing as a max HP gain makes my teams altogether a lot tankier, beefier, and more resilient. I really like that. But you need some sort of damage mitigation to make it work, as you saw there. This whole thing only starts working now because we have now that damage mitigation per punch. That's pretty much it. Alrighty, now I am happy with him. Happy enough, at least. Feel like now I have completed my mission with the Reaver insofar that I have a stable team that is reliably able to sweep out Instability 5 realms. It's been hell of a journey here. I've been working 2 hours today to reach that point. Usually I'm faster. Yeah, you get pretty burned out at some point. Exactly, exactly, Jaren, exactly. That's the problem with it. There's, what the game's lacking now is some sort of a late game scope. Something, some real end game content. Something to work towards to. Something ridiculously hard, which experienced players like us set a first foot in, get melted into smithereens, and be like, okay, how the hell are we supposed to get that done? You know, we need more challenges. Right now, the game doesn't offer enough challenges to geeks like us. Yeah, Joran, I remember that thing where when you were like, okay, my Siege Master build is working so well, it's rocking the boat for every spec. Weren't you able to even do Ascensions with that build, regardless of the spec? I don't know. Well, Ryu, I really don't know what this could be. I mean, I'm playing a lot of incremental games, and my personal experience is just, with incremental games, you just need to add in another layer of power. Yes, that ultimately does result in power creep. Yes, well aware of that. But, you know, rather have a power creep rather than not knowing what to do with all this power. I'm basically staying mostly motivated with this game by featuring all that stuff with you guys. And I gotta say, if I wouldn't be streaming the game that much, I hate to admit it, I don't know if I'd be playing it that much anymore. That's mostly because of the late game. It's just a little bit dull at this point. I really hope that this gets worked on. But so far, all the development of the game is was showing that there's good reason to be hopeful in that regard. Okay, I'm packing my bags for today, my men. Thanks for hanging around, you all. Leave a comment in the comment section below if this was a video on demand for you. Leave me a thumbs up or a subscription if you haven't done so already. Check out the description box down there. You'll find Twitter and Discord links there, which will lead you to the spots where I'm announcing all my streams before they happen. And also, please check out my Patreon site or the PayPal link for donations. I could use all the help that you guys can muster. Thanks for watching all this. Have a wonderful day, and see you soon. Yeah, Joran, I'm sorry you jumped in a little bit late, but I'm really happy that you stopped by. See you there.